Cajuns Kobe Julien transfers to Arkansas State. It's a lockdown Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. All right, so big news was Kobe Julien transferring to Arkansas State. We'll go over that here in a minute. We'll do a little Sunbelt baseball bracketology with the NCAA tournament. Let me tell you who put it out. 11.7 college baseball put theirs out, and they got three teams from the Sunbelt. And then we'll do the midweek Sunbelt baseball. A lot of teams playing tonight around the conference. But the bombshell on Monday was that former, I believe, Sunbelt Player of the Year, maybe not, not Sunbelt Player of the Year, but Kobe Julien, nonetheless. Sorry about that. He transfers to Arkansas State. He had entered the portal. In fact, I can tell you, it's not even sources that he was coming back, and this would have been right at the beginning of spring football, middle of March, not that long ago. Are you coming back? He said yes. And then about a week to 10 days later, he was in the portal, so he wasn't coming back. And now he's going to Arkansas State. So to begin with, that hurts the Cajuns rather immensely about having a, experienced player like him, at least in his sixth year of eligibility, and also Joe Charles. And what hurts Cajuns fans is that they are going to rivals of the Cajuns. McNeese, Joe Charles from Karen Crow going to McNeese, and Kobe Julien going to Arkansas State. You should see the replies that I saw. Arkansas State fans were thrilled to get him because he had two really big ball games against Arkansas State, and they won both of those, had 15 in the loss at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, and lost that one. Someone else pointed out he's not exactly the kind of player that Brian Hodgson likes. He likes, three-pointers and layups. Kobe can drive to the hoop. Not necessarily the most explosive and athletic guy, but, numerous knee surgeries, but, a little bit bigger than a lot of guys he's driving to the hoop on, and he can still shoot it. So really hurts the Cajuns. Of course, Cajuns fans all up in arms that it's Bob Marlin's fault, it's the coach's fault, and a lot of yada, yada, yada. It is interesting, though, no one goes the other way, and go all Kevin Durant on him. If you can't beat him, join him. No, it's the, wishing Kobe the best of luck, but he bailed on the Cajuns to go to Arkansas State. And we'll see, right? Arkansas State, for that fact of the matter, were the runner-ups, had a great conference tournament, took down the Cajuns, took down App State, James Madison, a little bit too much, but, it was in Hodgson's first year. And, he just had a great Sun Belt Conference season and tournament after they got off to a slow start, 4-8 in the pre-conference schedule. They do have to replace Caleb Fields. And I mean, if you want to look at, we did this, with the South Alabama quarterback situation. You want to look at basketball for next year. I mean, App State's bringing back their coach, but most of the team left. James Madison, the coach left, and some of the players left. Not sure about Troy. We know Scott Cross is back, but we also know that, Louisiana just lost not only two key components, but their starting point guard also left. Themis Folks left. And so you may be looking at an Arkansas State team that is, going to be the preseason favorite right from the start, because the guys that are coming back, I think someone I saw said they need a point guard. But other than that, they're in pretty good shape. I always expect, Troy and Scott Cross to have a good squad. I think they too had a really good Sun Belt season and not so great preseason Sun Belt. They finished 13-5 in the Sun Belt regular season, right? James Madison was 15-3, and 2 of those 3 losses happened to be to App State. App State only had 2 losses. We'll see how the Cajuns were grouped. They got a transfer from Sacramento State, and late Monday, Bob Marlin tweeted out, "Go Cajuns." So we'll see what they have. But, as of April 23rd, it would appear on paper that Arkansas State is going to be your preseason favorite. All right. I'm sure we'll see how the pieces fit together. As far as like a Joe Charles, we'll see if he starts. He is not nearly. Will Wade plays the same way, a lot like Brian Hodgson, or the other way around if you want to. Will Wade's more experienced. But Joe Charles has issues, being consistent with his shot. Maybe they work on that. And he's a very good player when he's not scoring points. You'd like him to be more consistent scoring points, but, he'll grab rebounds. He'll get you some steals. He'll play defense. He'll get some blocks. Whereas a lot of guys, can pout if they're not scoring, and that's not Joe Charles. So Joe Charles will give you everything he has, even if the shot is not falling. But we'll see if he fits into the Will Wade offense. Whereas it'll be interesting to see if Kobe Julien works on his shot, right? And gets that to be more consistent. It looks good. And the Cajuns were winning when it was falling. And then when it stopped falling, the Cajuns started losing. So he's a big piece of it. He's going to bring a lot of experience. And I think, Brian Hodgson, is going to play a lot of guys. So it's one of those things where, you can still get, 30 minutes or so, but you can go out and play hard for 5, come back and sit and know you're going to go back in, right? Like he does wholesale changes all the time because, well, that's the way they play. They play up and down the court. They want to shoot threes. They want to get to the free throw line. They want to shoot layups, kind of like everybody else does. That's what the Cajuns like to do as well. But right now, Arkansas State, again, we just finished one college basketball season. We have the college baseball season going on, and college football is in spring practice, just about to wrap up. But, end of April, Arkansas State looks pretty good heading into the preseason. So we'll try to keep up with that. That was huge news for Arkansas State. And we wish Kobe Julien the best. Again, seems like a nice kid. He's had a couple of, bad breaks with the knees. Certainly taking advantage, hopefully, of being a student athlete. That's the whole point of getting like a 6th season. And so we do wish him the best of luck up in Jonesboro. All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, we will talk about Sunbelt baseball bracketology, everyone's favorite topic of discussion. Right after I tell you about Gametime and FanDuel. Gametime is now the authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying Major League tickets. You can get those last-minute deals when you can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Zone deals can even save you more when you choose a section, and like Gametime, choose the seats. And don't forget those panoramic views. You can see those views from your seat in the app before you buy. And Gametime ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, LOCKEDONCollege, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And FanDuel. It's playoff time in the NBA, And NHL and baseball is in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on the app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Tough loss for the Pelicans. They had a chance to steal one against Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was a little bit rusty, a little bit inexperienced. Not that the Pelicans have a ton of experience, but they could have gone to Oklahoma City and stole one. We'll see what happens. Is game 2 tonight? We'll see. I'm afraid of the next game that Oklahoma City is going to be a little bit more prepared. All right. Nonetheless, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. I will say I think the Pelicans had to cover it, right? It had to be more than 2. No, Pelicans had to cover that game. All right. Sunbelt baseball bracketology. All right. We just got done again with the NCAA basketball tournament. Excuse me. And everyone's doing their mock NFL drafts. And certainly we'll see who gets drafted from the Sun Belt, but 11.7, and these are tough to do, man. They did a field of 64 projections, okay? And whoever did it says the bubble stinks. The top 8 is pretty straightforward. 13 to 16 seeded hosts are up for grabs. Okay. So almost the top 12 are up for grabs. All right. So he's got, he's got Coastal Carolina as the 12 seed hosting in Conway. They host Georgia, great, UCF, wow, and South Carolina upstate. All right, goodness. All right, the other one is, the Cajuns are a number 2 seed for A&M. That seems, I'm not sure if that's fair to either one of them. Because are we saying if you are A&M, that means you're getting, wouldn't you be getting like the 32nd seeded team? You would be getting technically the worst of all teams for this 2 seed. We'll see. All right. The Cajuns did not react very well going to Coastal Carolina. That's a tough spot for them against A&M. It is what it is. All right. Tough spot. But that's kind of where these numbers have been. You know, if we do this, you know, we do it a lot with the Cajuns. Let me see if we can do it with Coastal Carolina. All right. Their Warren Nolan RPI went up to 12, 13 as of Monday evening. But let's see their predicted results. All right. They're 27-12. Their predicted results are 38-18 with an RPI of 10. Pretty good. And they have their non-conference strength of schedule is number 1 in the country. My goodness. All right. They do have them finishing 19-11 in the conference. All right. Let's check out the Cajuns. The Cajuns still have a pretty big lead right now in the conference. And they were 43, and that's where they are as of reporting this. Predicted results is 42-14 and an RPI of 34 because of a non-conference schedule of 165. So you can't complain too much if you're an RPI of 34 and they make you a 2 seed. So it is what it is. But the only other Sunbelt team getting in right now is Southern Miss at number 3. They're a 3 seed against the 10th seeded Duke Blue Devils in Durham. So there is no Troy, and I didn't see a James Madison. So let's do those. So you got 3 teams. That's pretty good. Probably not as good as the Sunbelt was hoping for. Let's see if we can go to conferences if that's easier for me. Sunbelt standing. So you go to James Madison. They have an RPI of 23. Let's see what their predicted results are. 24-15 right now. He gets them at a 36-20 with an RPI of 30. And they don't get in. That would be rough. All right. That's a little rough. Let's do Southern Miss. And they're coming into Lafayette this weekend. Southern Miss is 25-15. Predicted results is 33-22 with an RPI of 56. So it's going to be interesting to see. That seems to be a pretty good battle. I be honest with you, obviously we know, Southern Miss last year and heck the year before, right? They actually beat LSU in a regional, right? I thought a couple years ago. Last year, we know they won the regional and it was whole hoo-ah to, host Tennessee and the Applebee's controversy, which was funny until they lost the lead in game 2, in which they had a chance to advance to Omaha. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. It would seem like the Cajuns and Coastal are headed to the NCAA tournament, and they got to win. So this is telling you how big this series is this weekend when Southern Miss comes in to take on the Cajuns. It is enormous. Now Southern Miss's RPI may still go up. Also, you have Troy is going to Coastal Carolina this weekend, so that's enormous. And on the back end, so to speak, South Alabama, we talked about, is hosting JMU, which is enormous. A chance for South Alabama to start to get back into the mix of a conference bid. All right. And when I talk about the Cajuns and the whole conference thing, the idea is to not need to win the conference tournament. All right. So right now, Coastal Carolina doesn't need to win the conference tournament to get in. They appear headed that way. The Cajuns, as long as they win, their series, and we'll just give them the series at home. Actually, if they just win their series, they're getting 8 more wins. It's like 40 or something like that. Or no, 39, right? They got to do better than that. Or 10. I actually had 10 wins because you get the 2 midweek games. So that's 41. All right. And they're going to probably be around that 30 mark. And you don't want to have to win the conference tournament because you can burn your pitching. And sometimes those guys don't bounce back, even if it's on rest for a few days. And so then we'll see, Southern Miss has to win. South Alabama has to win. Some of these teams are going to have to sweep, and that's really hard. So we shall see what happens with these matchups that, more than 2 or potentially more than 3 teams from the Sun Belt can get in to the NCAA tournament. And we're not even accounting for the fact that maybe somebody on the outside, Texas State, an Old Dominion, right, comes in and wins the conference tournament. We don't think that's going to happen, but who's to say that it's not? And now you'll get that extra team. Or does that knock off one of the bubble teams that would be in that large berth team? So you never know. That's the idea, is to not have to worry about winning the conference tournament, and that you're in with a solid, mid-30s, low 30s RPI. All right, let's take a timeout. We will check out what is apparently a very busy baseball schedule tonight in the Sun Belt. We will do that right after I tell you about Monopoly Go. We've all been there, either as a player or a fan. It's halftime and the scoreboard is not looking good. You're feeling low, not sure you or your team can pull out a win, and that's when you dig deep. Lift your head up and say to yourself, time to get back in the game. Pull off some bank heists and take as much of my friends' money as I possibly can. That's right, the smash hit mobile game, Monopoly Go, lets you compete with your friends to get the most riches and the biggest empire. It's the Monopoly you love, but on your phone, anytime, with tons of new twists, including leaderboards to compare your progress to your buddies. There's so much to do. Play on countless dynamic Monopoly boards. Make your friends bankrupt by smashing their landmarks with a wrecking ball, and charge other players for rent for your iconic properties. You can even work with your friends to crack open community chests in tournaments to get extra rewards and climb the leaderboard. So get back out there. Put on your game face and download Monopoly Go now. Free on the App Store or Google Play. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your team every day. We did have a schedule change, so we are still slated to get coach Brian Vincent. I'll say that's on me. That's not on him. So don't blame him. That's absolutely 100% on me, and he's being very accommodating. So we appreciate that. We are also scheduled to have Coastal Carolina coach Tim Beck on, and we do need to reach out to people have not gotten back to me, and just a friendly reminder. Hey, still here. So we'll see what we can do and try to get all of the football coaches. Again, we had Jared Parker on and Bob Chesney on right before spring. Not sure if we need to do it again, although we could ask them who their starting quarterback is and just kind of be a pain in the backside. So we'll get, hopefully we get, I think the plan is to get 9 or 10 of them when they have a chance. So far we've had, I don't know if we've had any. We're getting 2 right now, right? We haven't had any. We've had Mike Jones and Gary Gilmore. Well, Mike Jones, the new ODU head basketball coach, and Gary Gilmore, the coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers baseball team. Okay. Let's check out the baseball schedule, which is a very, very busy Tuesday. There is only one Power 5 team matchup, if you will. Although people who watch this don't appreciate me saying that. Georgia Southern hosting Mercer. That's not the Power 5 matchup. Alabama State at Georgia State. ODU is taking on VCU. That's a lot of home games right there. App State hosting East Tennessee. I think that is East. Yeah, it's East Tennessee State, right? Yeah. Okay. So East Tennessee State. James Madison hosting Maryland. There's your Power 5. Let's see. Does that help? Who does that help? Well, that'd be crazy. Would anybody be shocked if that helps Maryland more than JMU? I would be, but not based on this year. Maryland's not bad, 46. So it's not James Madison. But Maryland's got an RPI 46, so that doesn't hurt JMU, which I guess is our concern. Let's see where the rest of the games are. Southern Miss taking on Tulane. I'm not sure Tulane has had that great a year. Let's check that out. Texas State taking on Incarnate Word in the G.J. Kinney Bowl. Arkansas State off to Central Arkansas. ULM hosting former Sun Belt foe Little Rock, and Coastal Carolina in an odd midweek ball game, getting on a plane and going to Creighton. Are they playing a couple of games out there? They are. They have a 2-game series against Creighton, which, for those who don't know, pretty sure play at, do they have their own ballpark? You know what? I don't know that. But I know that, isn't it TD Waterhouse is downtown, where they play the College World Series. So let's see what do we think Creighton's RPI is? So, in other words, Coastal Carolina getting a little used to going to play in Omaha. Creighton's RPI is in the top 50, so that's pretty good, and it's on the road, so that is even better. When you do a quadrant 1 win on the road is top 60, so that's nice. Okay. So that's a big 2-game series. Cajuns play Southeastern. Coastal went to Creighton. One of those. It is what it is deals. There are games, as we mentioned, Coastal's playing Creighton on Tuesday and Wednesday. Georgia Southern appears is returning the favor with Mercer. So that's a home and home. Georgia State going to Presbyterian, and the Cajuns hosting Houston Christian and Lance Berkman. I didn't realize that Lance Berkman was the head coach there, so that'll be fun for Cajuns and Astros fans on Wednesday. The big game here in Lafayette tonight is Cajun softball hosting LSU, and we're also at the same time going to get Mike Desimo. So not the best of all timing, but again, it is what it is. So we'll probably be at the ballpark at 5, so I can make sure I get a seat, and then we'll go over and get, the final chat from Mike Desimo before the spring game on Saturday, and we'll post what he has to say on the Twitter feed. So you can find that at SchultzCast. All right, we are almost at 1,200. we're still going. It's not bad. If you get all 14 teams and I get 100 from each team, each school, that's pretty good. So that's not bad. So we'll see. I think that's the goal. See if I can get to, well, we'll do a little bit. I don't know why 1,400 is not as much round as 1,500. Maybe just 1,500 is halfway or so. But see if we can get to 1,500 by August 31st. That is not, that long, right? That's May, June, July, August. So 4.5, May, June. That's 4.5 months. So we'll see. That's when it kicks off. We will be at, hopefully we'll be at Sunbelt Media Days. And we'll be all down there for that. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. I did have a comment that, I am a little Cajuns biased and West biased. That's a fact. I cannot change that. That's where I've lived and covered both South Alabama and the Cajuns mostly. I know that's a blind spot. So I try to do as best I can. I do ask all the coaches to come on. I really do. And many of them are accommodating. All right. I mean, I'm recording one of them like 7:30 in the morning at Central Time. So I try to accommodate them as well. So I can only ask and try to get them on when they are available. Not really has anybody turned me down. I doubt it. Sometimes they're too busy and can't do it when I want to or when I would like to, but we're working around their schedule as well. So I do appreciate their time. And we'll continue to try to get as many of the football coaches on as spring football has come to an end. Almost come to an end this week. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have a full recap of the baseball and maybe a little softball for Wednesday's episode. And we're looking forward to having some coaches on this week and probably next as well. Some are maybe more timely than others. All right. Thank you so much for hopping on Locked On Sunbelt. I'm your host, Dave Schultz. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you again on a Wednesday.